All right, Baltimore Ravens. They were signed a top 20 player in the NFL, Zach. Shouldn't you just get an A+ for that alone?
Re-signed? Oh yeah, Justin Madubuike. That was. I mean, they paid him a lot of money. There's a good reason why they paid him a lot of money. So, they
Sure.
also re-signed Nelson Aguilar, which I thought was a little confusing, but hey, I don't know. They signed Derrick Henry. Um, they decided to move on from Odell, and they
Odell sucked.
re-signed quarterback Josh Johnson. I know Trevor's big on that guy.
They are going to have a bit of a rebuild. I mean, Patrick Queen's a big loss for them.
Yeah.
And then they lost 3 out of their 5 starting alignment. Ravens are kind of an O-line factory. They can just pop an O-lineman out of nowhere, but 3 starting alignments can be hard. Zeitler,
Geno Stone.
Lions, and then Morgan Moses went to the Jets, and John Simpson went to the Jets. So
Stone went to the Bengals.
they still have their 2 best linemen, though. But they're big on Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah. I didn't like him as a scheme fit there. I understand why they went with him. If I was in that front office, I would have pushed harder for Saquon. But I get it. You got to have some consistency in that running back room, and they have never had it.
And they got Keaton Mitchell with a pretty good
season. It's a pretty good change of pace back, Keaton Mitchell, who's fat. It's kind of like thunder and lightning with Henry and
if they bring back J.K. Dobbins. I know he's still a free agent, but I wonder if that'd be – probably wouldn't need him as much, but –
you could draft a rookie in the 5th round. That's probably what they're thinking.
Sure. Ravens are a very good team at replacing outside help. They're a very good drafting team.
Yeah, they are.
Especially on defense.
Yeah.
But I don't really look – it's going to take a bit to rebuild this line, and that O-line is such an important thing for this Ravens offense to let Lamar run.
Yeah, especially with the way that they run the read option. I thought that's the reason they lost that game to the Chiefs was they didn't use the read option enough. And they just decided to let Lamar throw it all over the field with a mid-tier wide receiver group. So replacing that O-line is going to be tough, especially for all that they have to do. But, I mean, like Kerry said, they're very good at replacing O-linemen, and they draft well. It'll be interesting to see what they decide to do in the draft, because there are some areas that I'm still not 100% on. Wide receiver being one of them, but we'll see.
And the only other move I thought was kind of weird, they let Tyler Huntley, longtime backup, walk. I mean, a backup quarterback's not the end of the day, but I mean, Lamar has had injury health issues in the past.
Yeah, they got backup Josh Johnson though.
Yeah,
a seasoned veteran.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, there's still a few guys out there. Ryan Tannehill's not really a great fit, but I don't think I'd want to go into the season with Josh Johnson as my QB2.
Yeah, especially it was confusing too because I felt like he was a great backup for Lamar because not that they were at all the same, but they played a similar style of football.
Yeah,
it made no sense for him to go to the Browns, who already have Winston and DTR. I don't know why they needed 4 quarterbacks.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I
think that Browns are hoping one of them pays off.
Guess so. They need a bunch of quarterbacks to make James, what's his name? Bill Cosby a better person.
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. But they lost some guys. I do like the Henry signing. I'm going to give this one a B- for the Ravens.
Nelson Aguilar plays good in Baltimore. No, he had some bad years earlier on in his career, but he plays well with Lamar. I think they paid Madubuike a little bit too much, but you got to pay the guys that win in the trenches. And Derrick Henry is an A+. That's a home run for me. I like it more than Saquon, especially there. We saw what Derrick Henry could do with a bad O-line in Tennessee. So even if this offensive line isn't as dominant, if they can just be good enough, they still got Tyler Linderbaum, a great center, running behind him. The big Derrick Henry.
And Ronnie Stanley.
Yeah.
Yeah. Releasing OBJ was great. paying him. I don't know if that contract was worth 16 or 18 million, but for 35 catches, he looked old this year. Not what he was brought in to be, but Zay Flowers looks like he can definitely be a wide receiver one, and maybe this was just kind of like a mentorship program. OBJ being like
there's so many good wide receivers in the draft.
Yeah, there are. It's a very deep wide receiver draft.
If they could take Worthy, that would be nice. I like that. I'll give the Ravens an A. My highest score so far. I'll give them an A.
All right.
I'm more in line with Carey.
We're all over.
I'm actually gonna go lower than Carey. I'm gonna go C+. Like you said, Carey, I know that obviously they've done a very good job in the past of replacing O-linemen. But, I mean, losing 3 really good players on the O-line is a tough thing to do.
I will say they were all like Moses is 33, Zeitler's like 34, so they were more on the older side.
Yeah, so. I understand that, but still, it's tough to replace those guys. So, and it didn't look like they made much of a move to do that in free agency so far.
Dude.
And then it's going to be tough to draft that well unless they feel like the guys behind them are as good or can compete at that level. But I mean, that's a stretch.
To be honest, if it's a good year to like move on from some old guys and like give some young guys some playing time, like your next generation of offensive line, a good running back to have is Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
I agree.
I knew they do have in-house guys too. Like I think Ben Cleveland was supposed to be the starter, and he's one of the backups. The big guy from Georgia. I think it was Georgia.
Not Ezra Cleveland, Ben Cleveland.
I'm pretty sure it's Ben Cleveland.
Dude, I didn't know he was still in the NFL. That's awesome. He was a hunk in college.
He's a big guy.
Yeah.
He's a high pick too. I think he's pretty young, but
so
all right.